Hello everyone, this is Fantastic Worlds. Welcome you back to Lovecraft Country and Cultist Simulator, the Exile DLC, the now successful murder run. Yes, we have in fact murdered the foe, which means that we no longer have to worry about pursuit, as the remaining assassins don't really have a beef with us and are busy killing each other, trying to figure out who's going to be in charge next. And we are going to do precisely what I suggested before. What the Exile probably truly needs is take a vacation. Because damn, have we had a hell of a run. In any case, we've managed to acquire a few treasures, and we're now going for the maximum amount of comfort we can get in this game. Now, the best ending requires 30 comfort. That's only accessible if you get 22 comfort worth of items you're carrying around. And you get like a not a grand house, a secluded villa, which gives another 8. So we'll probably get up to 20 at least, which basically means 12 and 8. We've got 5 right now. That is from the Beguiling Curio, which of course has 1. The Book of Suns, which has another. The Atlas of the Unexpected, and the Rarity Grease Guitar. Now, we actually missed one back when we need to talk about Morella. Yeah, Morella unfortunately has shuffled off her mortal coil, which is primarily my fault. But in narrative, I'm simply going to state that it's due to the fact that the foe killed Morella just to make me angry. Then I killed her in revenge. I wouldn't actually just sacrifice her, as you know, demonstratively did last episode. But we're going with the narrative because we're picking because we are the actual survivors. You know what I'm actually thinking about? Just like chilling. You know, we can grab the Grand Townhouse, take that lovely amount of cash we have, and just purchase the darn thing. I mean, not like we have to run off of anything like that. And we are also going to, in universe, I'm going to find a nice little plot, you know, something that overlooks the river here in Paris, give her a good grave site, and put her upon the lay her to eternal rest. I'll come back every now and then and lay flowers. And you know, well, she had 4 people at her funeral. That's probably 4 more she's probably going to have. She was a starving artist after all. And given that she did antagonize a ancient cabal of powerful witches, I'm not entirely sure it's my fault she's dead. I mean, yeah, fine, we managed to get her through that night when they sent like the percussant and other evil sendings at her, but they're not going to stop. You know what I mean? They would have cursed her, and well, it came true. And this is where we are now. In any case, yeah, we're also carrying around 3 bodies and the heart of my father. This is kind of, you know, this is us. Anyways, the corpses. First of all, can we actually use these for? Well, we won't be able to tell for a bit, anyways. And what on earth can we use these for? We can use this for. Yeah, the problem is we've already been recognized for our success here. The only other thing we can do is possibly put in our lore. We'll see if that works. Also, the human corpse. Yeah, the human corpse isn't going anywhere. It's Morella's. I honestly would rather just get rid of it somehow, but in game I can't. Let's just assume I buried her. I'm not going to do anything else with it. But yeah, we're gonna stick by the place. We're gonna chill out. We're gonna do a little shopping because you know we can do that in Strasbourg now without worrying about being assassinated. And yeah, just chill for a bit. We're gonna see. I think I've got up the Strasbourg. Yeah, we've got up the wiki here in the other window where I'm doing this, so we don't really have to worry about doing too much. You know how I used to just turn it off when we were doing so because well, you know, you don't really want to see me just picking and reading stuff off of unless I'm reading it to you. Now, yeah, there isn't really anything here. We've already got the Atlas. Yeah, basically what we're going to do is we're going to have a nice little townhouse and we're just going to chill. The 3 of us and our friends. And I'm figuring, because we have to, Damikas has got some serious experience that he has to work on. I mean, I got to say this. We've already upgraded him once. He's got 5 more experience. He went 3 times toe-to-toe with an semi-immortal demigod of war and came out. Now, this is my new apprentice. We're going to get him a nice little boxing bag, punching bag in the back, and I'm going to teach him my techniques and such. You know, have an apprentice who's I'm not going to misabuse because, you know, like a father did me, because that just sends a bad precedent. We've all seen what happens when you abuse your apprentice. You know, Sith is not the way to go when it comes to managing your apprentice. You don't want to encourage them to kill you. I mean, I just did, actually. So that really didn't help anyone, did it? Well, it helped me immensely. I'm rather rich. Yeah, speaking of which, we're going to be doing some interesting things once we have the capacity to do so. In fact, once we get that townhouse, we're going to turn it to an asylum. Now, I'd imagine Gregoriu and Ursana, but they both have a love of gadgets and poisons and food, probably talking shop, visiting all the little cafes in Strasbourg, having a little time while I'm sitting there drinking lightly, and not too bad. There's not really much to worry about now. Drinking lightly, listening to a phonograph I purchased off the street, do some classical tunes, and just breathing. Nice to have a good life. So let's get started. I guess that little glimmering is going to go away. The Hornzack shadow will as well. But yeah. Alright. Oh, I got another glimmering. Apparently that's drinking. A good place to rest up or invite contacts I want to impress. I've taken out a couple of discreet staff and installed extra locks in the doors, but they won't slow. Well, we don't have any pursuers anymore. It doesn't update the text, obviously. It would take a lot of effort to do that. But what we are going to do, if we get that, if we can, the medical credentials. Put the medical credentials in, put in space. I mean, yeah, why not? Hold on. We're not relaxing, although that would help. I don't actually need it. And we use 1 year. Now, you have to be careful. Of course, we're going to have a lot of these, but I should be able to convert these into 4 and run a sanatorium. Now, that's happening. You notice I already have 4 heart. This is 8 heart. So basically, once those 5 seconds roll around, it's kind of fire and forget. I'm going to be able to just... God, I'm using terminology. I'm using terminology that most of you don't understand. Fire and forget is for precision, self-guided precision payloads, missiles and such. These days, they're drones. But, yeah. In other words, if you have the 12 challenge we need here, we'll just let that happen. Sure. Now, do I have an underworld contact? So I could also go prize fighting at the same time. Or actually, I'll send Donabus. If he has one more, if he gets one more of the competitions, one more experience of being used like that every time I create the every time I use him in any operation, such as when I was having deflected with the foe. Oh, we could have got the secluded villa. Oh, that would have been awesome. Well, we might be able to pull it off. We just once we're done with here, we could, if we really wanted to, we could just trade it out for cash here. But we're gonna be like rolling in cash. But yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to go shopping at this point. Just settle down and let good times roll. Deep breath. You can do that now. Just think about the delight after spending an entire lifetime worrying your father's going to murder you. And suddenly, he's dead. It's all over. Okay, so once he's done here, what we'll do is we'll, first of all, pop this. This looks like 2 years total to do, so it's actually less useful. And also, we should break down this decade. There we go. All right, there we go. Oh yeah, my father's corpse. Yeah, we're gonna burn it to ash. I'm gonna divide it into 4 portions: the crossroads, the ocean, a river, and an anonymous graveyard. And all of that is just gonna happen because I hate the son of a bitch. Experience is the best spice. I didn't realize until now. He likes to eat. You know? All right, good for him. All right, so let's go here. Grab the year we have left here. Put Dominions in. Put location we don't need for the illegal fights. But I'm actually going to send in Dominicus. Dom. I'm not going to call him Dominicus. I'm just going to keep failing because I think it's just too much disrespect to do so. See, what is going to happen here is I'm going to throw in Mysteries of Force. Basically, he's my apprentice, and I'm going to teach him how to fight. So that's going to be essentially symbolic there. Yeah, we're going to have a god-awful amount of cash, by the way. But yeah. Because these 2 alone are going to pull another 8 in. Oh, the rifle's back up and running. Excellent. Now, I've already got that going. You, my dear friend, will be doing it in my stead. You will be the one, the new champion rising upwards. My young apprentice. Oh, wait. No, we don't want to do that. That's more like Dad's thing. I don't want to be like Dad. Oh, God. So you can be a demigod and you still have family trauma and drama. And my grief will pass as well, probably as the time does. Yeah. So yeah, these two are going to pop up in 3 cash, which is just freaking amazing. And then we'll just leave. I don't have to worry about. I can take dire mountains of cash with me. It's awesome. Well, to Paris. There's a few things I want to pick up in Paris. I think we're going to be having. The thing is, those unusual creatures that like hide in the shadows, observed everything, just kind of nodded, talked to themselves about it, and, you know, probably wandered off. Anyways, profane, unusual. Yep, cask of extraordinary wine is there. It's two comfort, so that's going to make us even closer. You know, it's a comfort up to 9 when we get one. Now I've got the townhouse. Oh, sigh. I'm just treating my grief with wine entertainment. I mean, life is for the living. We've given it what we can, and you know, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate she ended up a footnote in somebody else's story. I mean, technically, I think we fridged her. But if you know the concept of stuffed into the fridge in a literary fashion. But, you know, I didn't write this narrative. I'm just living in it. Sleep? Sure, go ahead. I'll just freeze it. I'll just daydream while he's out there fighting. Hey, hold on a second. Alright, can't do that until I get these back. Until I get the skill back. But, yes. Drummond ceasing. Excellent. Increases subtly. Okay, cool. Also, I think the Grail we use in it, it will default to Grail as being more effective because apparently the wealthy widows like to get drunk when they're having their therapy. It's not really different these days. I mean, the Karens who pay for those immense, expensive resorts and such just kind of get massages and drink by the pool and talk about how awesome they are to each other. No, I'm not jaded whatsoever. Yeah, I've learned, like, there's reality television of, like, things like that, and I'm like, why? I mean, even the Kardashians are bad enough, and they started when I was younger. I mean, celebrity, I don't get it. I never found it very entertaining. How's he doing? Oh, he's doing great. Beating the crap out of people. That's it, Dominka. Give him. Oh, while we're here. Oh, really? Should have thought of that. Yep. Gregorio has the ability to do that. This will help get him up to level 7 in. I mean, we're still going to be doing capers and such. We're still going to be recruiting new allies because I want to getting the band back together, or rather I'm thinking about creating what is essentially an anti-assassin squad. In other words, we'd be unlike my father whatsoever, a group dedicated to, an occult group dedicated to preserving, rather, and protecting people, or to a degree, I mean, you're going to still need to pay the bills, but to create some alternative to the martial supremacy of the now essentially greatly degraded. Oh, we got obscurity. Not that I'm ever going to do anything with that. It's actually an ingredient, though, so I can use it, which is amazing. For certain things. Yep, we'll take the Grand Townhouse. I'm just going to... You know what? Screw it. I risk myself... Like you said, let's just get a whole bunch of cover for the heck of it. But while that's going on... Yeah, this is going on. Doing great there. And you... Yeah, you'll have to go into... Sending a glory, but you know, I'm not sure we can spend all those years. We'll have missions and such. Just think about it. Just think about... I mean, eventually my character's going to get bored because he is an assassin. That's kind of the class 2... Class... What was it? E personality? God, I remember. I don't remember. Buzzwords change every generation or so, but it used to be a type of personality that required stimulation. Ugh. You did great there, Dominguez. I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. Oop. That's I'm tired. I think that I would always be tired. You're definitely old, man. And yeah, I am a demigod, so I'm obviously going to outlive you. Alright, let's get you going. One more for him, I believe. Because we got... Oh, wait. 1 and 2 experience for him. Oh, well. Alright, cool. I got good outcome. Special. A lot of cash. Wow. Man, we are rich. But we'll get you restored for a bit, you know. I always wonder if you use comfort to restore them. It makes sense to me, really. Oh my god, I got one of those too. I mean, it's just like... Contentment 4. Do anything with that? Can we put, like, you in here? Oh no, we're not going to do that. Oh well, it's just a good thing to have. a lot of contentment. Never lasts, but it's good to have when you have it. Let's see. Probably once she's gone, we should consider... Yeah, we'll sell the asset for cash. We'll bring around 17 cash with us. Wow. I mean, that's good. We still have the 50 years as well, which is the actual currency. I mean, we can get... I can get some seriously good cash back and forth here. But once we get to Paris, we'll be exploring for the cask of wine. So there'll be a lot of shopping. I mean, going to Paris to go shopping. It's something that's rather common. Restlessness. Ooh. Right. Those days. And that will become dread eventually. Which really doesn't matter, but the vitality is great if I was still going into things that get me fought. 17. Perhaps need the cash more than any of this. Yeah, it'd be nice to actually have a place to come back to later on, but you don't know what this character really wants out of life. Anyways, we're up to 5. Comfort. Traveling purposes. I'm beginning to feel like my old self. Excellent. Excellent. Appreciate you. Alright, so let's see if Dominka's going to recover in the train car, I'm thinking. So, yeah, there's no reason to stick around at the moment, except... Okay, give me 7 seconds here. I'm going to see if I can actually upgrade the skill any further. It would be kind of funny if I could, but I think you have to do it at a shrine. You have to be dedicated as well. Okay, so, what we do... Okay, so I've already done that part. Okay, so what happens is we take the Reckoner corpse and... Run for my victory. Oh, we can. Excellent. And yeah, it's just an ingredient. Technically, the obscurity is an ingredient too. It's kind of weird. All these influences and such. I really can't use... I'm not a mage. I mean, you know, it really rarely comes in handy, but the vitality, of course, I can... It's one of the... It's unique that the Reckoner can consume vitality in order to do so. It's part of his wheel. Remember, he's a child of the wheel and the flint, which means flint, by the way, is of course the precursor to forge, which is of course what creates weapons, which is why he's so good at weapons. And the wheel is their earlier version of the heart, which contains vitality, which is why he can regenerate, why he can absorb vitality and become more powerful. And of course, why, you know, he can also remove other people's vitality. It'd be interesting to see how far we can push the skill. I'm wondering if we can actually get a second Reckoner corpse into place. Can you actually... Yeah, you can use that for... It's used for Grail, by the way. Why the corpses have Grail aspects is because they're not here anymore. I should make sure I'm not here. Anyways, they yeah, corpses can be consumed. Cannibalism. The Grail refers to the vitality that's in it. I wasn't a tidy or pleasant process, but it dealt special understanding my mortal actions. Ah, so it just produces another vitality. Interesting. Interesting. So I can basically convert a corpse into vitality. And the vitality is 1 heart, which doesn't really go anywhere. But, you know, portable corpse. Yep, this one I can't get rid of. This one's got a little time to it. We'll wait. But, you know, I think we can go to Paris now. Don't really have anything else to worry about. Oh yeah, cool. Have a buck. Shall we? Paris awaits. We were those last traces. They all know I'm here and nobody cares. Nobody wants to care. Yeah, we'll just fast forward this part. God, there's a lot of weapons unpacking. Can you imagine what people who like see me pack think about that? 2 swords, a pistol, and a rifle, and I've still got one magic dagger out there still, which I'll grab if I can, simply because to complete the collection. But yeah, as we pick up comfort items, this is going to take a while to get through. Sigh. What does a corpse become anyways? I don't have notoriety in this game. Nobody cares. I mean, the suppression bureau does not come after me for a simple reason is that I actually function within their consensus reality concept. See, the consensus reality concept that they have, I see as a trace, is that, you know, there are, you know, assassins, just ordinary, really good assassins. Somebody wants to talk about why they're that good, but, you know, we don't break the masquerade if you're a masquerade, or the veil if you're a mage player of the World of Darkness, or I don't even remember what the Fae called it. Fae was interesting to a degree, but I couldn't really get into it. It's just kind of based like a childhood logic, where I was usually better off with mage or vampire. Tried werewolf once, just played a werecat that hunted vampires. because she got bored and they were good prey. But yeah, usually it's the Ventrue Prince or the Sombra Mystic for me. Yeah, the thing about the Sombra is people think about only their Sabbat version, but the anti-Tributu version, the ones that are returned to the Camarilla, tend to be the most mystical of the bunch, even more so than the Tremere, because they have a direct connection to the death force that animates all vampires. Shadow Force. So, yeah. They're fun. Like when I was gaming. Don't really... And it's like been... Even when I was gaming, I was usually forced to be the game master. It was very rare I could be the player. I just knew the rules better than most people. Anyways, Paris awaits. Tante Adeline's man is a surly, lanky fellow in a leather apron. He doesn't speak to me at all, just sits there feeding goblets of raw meat to the dogs. And he listens as I explain and motions to the Who's Corsican to follow me when I leave. I think it's a free underworld connection, which you could probably exploit for money. You can exploit just about anything for money, but yeah. There you go. Yep. And you can, before we leave, we'll use that either for import, export, or because I'd like to actually try to get an import license going, just because I've never done that before. It's not really that exciting, mind you. I mean, right, we don't really have to worry about running away now, do we? Let's go shopping, guys. I'm treating some. Or you can make your own way. You're rich. But yeah, the first cafe visits on me within reason, guys. Nobody order the 500-year-old champagne or whatever. You have to be careful about these things. Sometimes people can take your generosity a little too far. Anyways. Oh, wow, I got a trace. That's still going on. Discreet office if I want to do medical. Which is not actually the best way of doing medical. You can. It's better to do it in the townhouse or the secluded villa. Oh, really? Oh, look. People know I'm here. Wow. Used to be freaked out by that. It's just amazing how much it changes after you kill a guy. Let's go. What do we got? Official connection, if they have an import license. Let me check on that one. It's official underworld medical. No, this is when you get medical connections. Alright, but I might try something to get the flower maker. Because, like I said before, the game doesn't actually has code for making a flower maker cult, but you have to use the console to do it. Oops, let's get this started. Gagore. Yeah, 1 year plus Gagore equals cash, but we want to convert it to yeah, we might. I mean, if we're gonna stay here, we don't want to do it in a discreet office. You know, 4 of us in a 2-room place with a very small bathroom does not really help. Ah, there it is. Flower maker shadow. Now, whoo boy, how's the best? Okay. Here are the sweet airs, here are the beginnings of dreams, here are thoughts from the hour of the flower maker, the one who consumes, and delivers dreams. Okay, so, really, we can actually have a name now. Great. Mr. Dude. Instead of the first, we was like 1970s, so let's just go -1. Okay? Now, this is the, beginning of the... Of course, this makes sense that his son would... That's spoilers. If you know, you know why. Second. If you know why. That's the thing. Why his son would be perfect for being the son of a villain. Anyways, or probably great grandfather. I don't know. 1925 to 1970. Grandfather's probably most likely. Anyways, so let's make this -2. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna keep going. All right. Do I actually control? There we go. This is the dev console. Now the thing is, I'd have to figure out what it was that I need. Like, is it connection? Yep, connection holy. Connection holy and create element. Connection holy man. All right. So you need a place to do that. We'll need a place better. Control. A single quotation mark, by the way. Yeah, we'll do this. I just want to do this because you can't, like I said, you can't do it normally in the game. I just want to create a pleasure cult. Basically, we're going to create, like, it's not a cult of Slanesh. We're not going to go that far. But, like, Slanesh's, like, less seedy third cousin's place. You know what I mean? Okay, anyways. Let's go find some place to do this. Yeah, that's a quick brief on how to use it. It's a control plus the single quote, and then you have to basically type in like connection or cache or whatever else. You can create any card you want. And of course, it kind of spoils the game if you just like spam yourself super much. I don't. Oh, you know, I have all the time in the world, and yet. Street office, official connection. We're good here, right? Bitch, pity about the importing, but I guess you have to be the coast. You can't be river importing. Just which really sucks. Anyways. So I'm not sure what you actually need for a holy man. I forgot about that. I actually need some things. Lights. I want a place to live. I mean, that's the thing. Holy man, for example. You need a venue, which means you need a place with at least 2 space, and you need a year. Okay. So yeah, basically, you didn't know this, by the way, that Paris actually has an extremely long history of Satanism. And not the Satanism black metal type, because, you know, black metal wasn't around when it started, like, centuries ago. But there's always been an artistic, satanic movement there. I have no idea if it's really a thing these days, because it's how mainstream it is, but it used to be a secretive one in which people practice transgressions to try to free themselves from the limitations of presented to them by society. You may make of that whatever you wish. Absolutely whatever you wish. Alright, so erudition somehow. Right, so love that. Oh, it's got 2 lanterns. We might be able to use that if we can get the church going. Alright. There's the cask of wine. Alright. God only made water, but man made wine. Actually incorrect. It's stated that wine was created when grapes were offered out unto the gods and allowed to sit in the sun. Now, we all know that's due to fermentation, which is actually the first form of alchemy or chemistry. It's literally one of the first sciences ever created by this iteration of man. Absolutely life-preserving, because fermentation allows you to pickle food, and if you have nothing resembling refrigeration, you are living in stone huts, caves, and the occasional wooden structure you manage to throw together. Being able to ferment your food in order to hold it is really popular. Yeah, pickled food was a lifesaver for humanity. That's why I approve of people who still do pickling these days. You know, it's good to have some food. Okay, but I've got a few pickle jars myself of like vegetables and such, but I don't do it myself. I'm really not that good. In the kitchen, I'm okay. Alright, so find a place to set up a church, damn it. Nobody cares. Alright, there we are. A rarity. Case of 1865, which at the time of this game would be 50, 60 years old. Domaine Revelin. A great vintage rung from the Terrier. Terrier, by the way, means it's a type of... It's like landscape, but it has a lot more to it in the nuance. Terrier means the general essence of the land, the entirety of it all put together, and how everything fits into it. It's a lovely word. It covers a massive thing, and I am not qualified to be the person who tells you how it works. But the great grand blight, and with secrets in the times before the grand blight. I don't know what that is. It's probably a real life time when the fungus wiped out the source. With disciplines, patience, and resolution, it's possible to taste a glass of this wine and not to finish the bottle. 12 freaking grail, which means that grail is used for the holy thing. Oh, that's just fucking hilarious. I'm just thinking, right, he still needs to go into there. But, gods. So yeah, there we go. That's one more. Maybe we should just, like, start stacking up the comfort stuff. The Big Island Curio, the page. I just hate the fact they stole the page from me. I could have gotten 3 pages together, made a decent book. Or just had the 3 comfort for the 3 pages. So, but yeah, here we are. 2 here. 1 here. 1 here. 1 here, that over here, and 2 here. Primarily I like strumming. I like to imagine when we buy places, I'll just stand in the backyard and strum that magic guitar. Anyways, let's see what else we can pull off. Sitting in Paris, 60-year-old wine. The 4 of us managed to not polish the entire case in a couple of weeks. We got plenty of good stuff to drink. All right, now I could actually use this for... one, I think we'll do this. The piece. Why wouldn't we? I mean, we've got vengeance. I'm not even sure why we have the temptation defiance thing going on here. We can't really use it for much. Okay, what we got? Also, I'll need to make sure. Where we get this one? For Heart for Winter. Excellent. Let's renew that one. Just in case. We can get a... You'd figure... I will admit, the real estate market in Paris must be insane. You really come down to it. Alright. Looking for a nice place on the nice chateau. Is it so much to ask for? I don't want to live in a... Paris. Night. Apparently I like to wander the streets. What I find hilarious is that we can... Let's do it again. Thoughts of peace. Apparently I just like thinking... I just like enjoying the fact I never have to worry about anything. I mean, probably go out... If I get bored, I go out looking for muggers. I could probably even leave them alive. Yep. There are 2 tranquilities now. Just feeling completely mellow. I'm guessing the wine helped. Wine is one of the first sacred instruments of worship. It puts you in a... If you do it just right, and especially if you mix it with like ergot or other forms of hallucinogens, it was used for rituals in order to put you in a state to be one with the gods. I don't really need that, thanks. Open you up to having visions. In fact, I think the ergot wine mixture was used for the rites of Lucius, which is the longest running mystery cult of the earth goddess Demeter that was done first initially by the Greeks in the Athens area, although it was politically neutral, and then ended up... Secluded Villa, that will do. Alright, let's go. And then what happened, and was later kept going during the Roman Empire. It was like, when the Romans became Christianized, they ate, one of those expensive things. Alright. When the Romans Christianized, they shut it down eventually, but it lasted like centuries. And essentially, it was designed to remind people of the immortality of their soul and that fact that we are all simply essences of gods having a human experience. Which I think is a good thing. We really should be, having better thoughts about that. It makes me take things less seriously. Alright, so, boom. Far enough and out of town to get some space. A good place to recover, to work on projects in the public eye, or to host guests when I went over. It'll be a nightmare to defend if it comes to that, though. No, don't worry about it. I swear, I could live out my days here happily if there wasn't certain immediate practical difficulties, but those aren't. That's a 15 right there. We're so close in some cases. But what we really want to do is grab the Holy Man, the secluded villa. I gotta look this one up. Just one second. I want to make sure I've got everything right here. Connections. This shouldn't take long enough to be an issue here. Connections and Holy Man. See what we got here. Run a faith healing cult. Okay, that's what it would be. We use the faith healing cults when you use the power of the year to heal people, and they're like, "Oh my God, he's holy!" When you get like hundreds of people being like donations and such, you lay hands on them. And, yeah. That's the thing. 2 space. Okay, so. Opportunity. Medical. Okay, so, right. Alright. So I think we're going to try to pull this off. Assist deceptions. I like the fact that you can use him in order to be able to confuse people to your location if you really need to worry about that. Which we don't. Which is awesome sauce. Operations. Okay, to make sure we can do this, let's see. Under uprising, we're going to be able to do an uprising. It's really cool. But yeah, we need 4 moth or grail, which we've got. 8 moth or lantern. That's the difficult one. Do we have for moth or lantern? Now, I have erudition, that's exactly 1. Mind you, we've got this, which is 2, for producing 8. If a certain person hadn't died, right? The other one is moth. Can we actually produce moth? I don't actually think so. This could be one we can't actually pull off. We've got 2 moth here, right? And yeah, they don't glow at the same time, like they used to, which really was helpful. I mean, wait, you have 8 moth. So we're going to be running it with the assistance of the underworld. I'm good with that. All right. So, and the last one would be 12 Moth or Winter. Okay, so Dominkus is apparently going to be helping. Actually, we could do... Let's get Dominkus Realization to 9. Being able to generate that plus this is going to be able to be... Well, I didn't really need to do that, but yeah, that would produce more than enough. That's 2 cards now. We're only ability to use 4. This would be part of it, so I think we've got the Grail right off the bat. Because, yeah, the 4 Grail would be... Everybody's going to be comfy enough in the place. We're going to turn this place into our temple, apparently. So that would be enough. We need to generate the moth or 8 moth or 8 lantern. Now, So yeah, 1 card will do that with the underworld. So then 1 card with moth. Yeah, I think we can do this. We can do this. All right. So first look at Dominkus. Helping out though. So he and my wound. Apparently, I don't know. We're gonna like show the unhealing wound, or we're gonna call it like an exotic form of exotic. So crass. Profane. Profane just means non-magical, by the way, in this setting. All right, another trace. Yay! Don't worry. Then it's like I said. Shortly, we're going to be running that faith cult. I'm gonna make sure I got this reset, because it's going to take about 30 seconds, and then we'll get the faith cult going. And yeah, the reason I'm doing that, by the way, is because you can make specific healing cults after that point 1. See, we can... Hang on 1 second. Okay, assemble an esoteric cult of the Flower Maker, which you can't do, by the way. The code exists. There's no reason why I say it's not a finished game. The code exists to do this, but you literally have to cheat in order to do it. All right. Yeah. Okay. Best way to do this? Okay. So, impossible to cult without using console. Without end connection element theory. Want to do so employing a new faith. 1 space, stolen year, and the Flower Maker's shadow. Should be able to do this. Should. All right. Meanwhile, I don't need that. Shopping at this point, mostly window shopping. All right. So, let's do this. You're open for it, aren't you? Okay, so first things first. The Flower Maker's Shadow, we'll keep that. Holy Man. The Secluded Villa. Okay. Which gives look at that. And the year. Run a faith healing cult. I can bring genuine healing miracles to a congregation. A reasonable safe way to convert less than cash. Moth aspect cards, because that's about deception. But we're actually going to run this a little differently. Now, moth-baked cards do actually work, but first things first. Okay, the first challenge, so you've got 6 here, challenges, and we require Grail. We have 6 Grail right off the bat. But preparations would allow us to do so. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the Connections Underworld. That's going to give us the 8 moth that we're going to need for the second test. Now, the tests are, since you're not going to see them because I'm going to preview them, is that Flower Maker cult ceremonies are private pleasure or public revelation. We're using Grail, so private pleasure. We're doing a pleasure cult. Like I said, Slaaneash's less seedy third cousin. And the Flower Maker cult second challenge is draw the velvet curtains close or fling wide the doors of sensation. We're going to be using, we requires Grail 8 or knock 8. We can use, it should, in theory, be doable. Between the Scar, Grigori. Yeah, we should be able to pull this off. Should, mind you. If I'm wrong, we'll find out. And it'll be an experiment. Don't know if we get the year back, though. For the moment, we got plenty. I'm dressing the Grail. Yep, Grail. This will increase subtlety. Now, the next challenge, of course, like I said, is going to be Grail 8 or... That's the pleasure cult. The regular cult. Regular one, next one will be Moth 8 or Lantern 8. So what we do is, and that one, by the way, Preach Parables or Pleasure. We're going Pleasure. Faith Healing Cult Level 2, be Vague or Share Real Secrets. Now, we could use 8 to share real secrets, but nobody really wants to know what's going on in this world. Seriously, would you want to? You can do so because you're not in this universe. But in universe, would you really want to know? Really? Nah, you just want to get through your day, right? Alright, so yeah. But the thing is, we already have the 8 moths, so that's going to be okay. And the last one's going to be Faith, Misdirection, or Bleak Revelation. We're going to go with Bleak Revelation. Because, there we go. Now, it's going to give us Delight and its daughters. That's going to give us the 9 we need, and we'll throw in my wound for additional 4. We have more than enough. For the Bleak Revelation. Really shouldn't be too much into the Bleak Revelation thing. Actually, fuck it. We'll just talk about my tranquility. That'll do it. I'm not sure how the tranquility is bleak revelation. I mean, let's face it. Another flower maker. Wow. Okay, so that's gonna be interesting. But yeah. All right. So I need to show my healing wound. I just have to get up there and preach about how what little I know addressing the challenge with moth will increase subtlety, but that will increase us to 13 winter with bleak revelation. There we go. I'm sure everybody's gonna be happy with that. So basically, we do all this pleasure, and then we tell you life is meaningless, and you should just indulge yourself into the last moment, which is actually in this universe what you should be doing, because we don't know. All right, the next it's been chosen by my supporters who do choose the topics from a list for my Hush House lecture series, which I do an in-universe lecture series explaining the universe of Secret Histories, now it's being called. This Cultist Simulator, Book of Hours, and the upcoming Journeys at Night game are all going to be part of, which I'll draw on that common lore about. And the next one is the Ministers of Death, which is the concept of death in the Secret Histories world. So yeah, if you want to see what I can comprise about the actual death lore in this game. More recruits for my faith healing kite. Rejoice! So yeah, if you were going to preach nihilistic pleasure cults, I think Paris is probably one of your best options. Night deepens. This will increase subtlety. This would, yeah. And the thing is, we can actually use this to increase somebody's experience. So who should go first? You know, she's young. Really, we should just let her indulge herself. Besides, she's a supernatural being. She already knows how bad the situation is. She's one of the Eldritch Horrors. And she just wants to have a good time. God, I'm a strange person. Yeah. Yeah, we got quite a few of one of them. In any case, the Underworld Contacts. I'm not that concerned about losing this one because we'll get this one back. Consumed, I believe. And we could pay another one for it. But we're going to get some money for the Faith Cult anyways. And we're probably... Oh god, this is going to be strange. Okay. Pleasure culting our way through things. Okay. Rejoice! Rejoice! Pleasure shall bring you joy, and joy will bring you good life. And now I must leave you. My revelations have completed. If you knew 1925 Europe, you know that occultism was wow. My works are written in water. You achieve 3 subtlety. You gained another obscurity. I really think that's awesome, is that we are completely losing ourselves. All this. All right, Ariana. She's dormant. She had a good time. Wow. Yeah, okay. Now, we're going to be seeing about assembling the esoteric cult of the flower maker. Wow. Okay, so you employ a new faith. On space, a stolen year in the flower maker's shadow. How would I do that? Employ a new faith. Do I have it here? Hang on. Employ a new faith. You may not have that option. Now, employ a new faith was supposed to come. I will reserve. Okay, quick thing. We'll give this a shot. If I'm wrong, it's another wasted year, but cash was decent, apparently. I only got 2 cash out of that? That's kind of disappointing. I guess the subtlety kind of countered that. Alright. Alright, cool. Now we have the Holy Man. Do we have... No? Okay. Cool. Okay. So, I'm going to have to pause here. I thought I didn't have to avoid this, but figure out how exactly to do this. Hold on. Okay, so I think I figured it out. I think we were too subtle. I think you have to be... Remember, there's 2 ways you can do things. You can do things through subtlety, or you can do things through efficiency, or equivalent word, which actually can produce traces, but it's more effective for getting money, which is kind of one of the things we want to do here. So, we have to go back through this. Secluded Villa, Stolen Year, which will allow us to do the Faith Healing Cult, but this time, rather than Secluded Villa, what we're going to do, because that was what caused it to... Actually, let's try that. I want to this is going to be a test. We're just going to keep testing things until they work. Because we've got the time. What we're going to do is not put in the underworld connections. We will eventually have to do that. In fact, here we go. And it's going to be expensive tests, but, you know, we've got the time and we have the money. So, we're not getting any more of this back. Like I said, we're just doing this for see how it would go. Now, the Faith Healing Cult preparations. Now, the thing is, I'm probably going to have to put in winter stuff again. So I'll put in Tranquility. That'll give us the 4 winter we'll need when we have him back up and running, which hopefully will be in time. I may not have done this quite properly, but you know what? We'll run with it. In other words, if we use... Let's see. Light and statos. We don't want subtlety, damn it. I wanted moth. But how does... Oh, does it... Thoughts. Thoughts. I need thoughts. I don't have lantern I can throw at it, though. We'll try something. If it doesn't work, we'll just get our $2 and be done with it. But yeah. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We may have to come back at it at another angle. We'll live. Also, the Unhealing Wound would produce more as well. Get that rebooted, as it were. Actually, might want to do that now, just in case. There we go. Challenge. Be careful. Match the challenge with edge, not force or knock. Alternative, we can't use force or knock. That's the big problem. Okay, edge, forge, knock, or lantern. Because lantern would be the only way we could do this in Revelation. Oh well. Oh well. It is what it is. We learned. I'll just spawn the card some other time. Or, of course, I could. That's really being unpleasant. Is there actually an 8-pointer in lantern I can use? Not really, I'm thinking. Oh well. Like I said, we'll get our cash back and obscurity back for some strange reason. It's okay, it's okay. Oh my god. It's right there. We could have done this. We could have done this. There it is. Needs aspect 8 lantern. Oof. Oh my god. So we still need one of these to do it with. We need another 2 points. I don't see that we have 2 points of lantern anywhere else. You know what I mean? No lantern. Oh, my sucker thrown over. Yeah, you know who we could have used, right? Oh wait. I'm not gonna... No point in blowing the challenge over here. Broken mirrors, yeah. That was the only chance we can do so if we use lantern for it. I'll keep that in mind. Necessary, I'll spawn the cards some other time, but that would have been interesting. I mean, we've got... Oh, we could do it, actually. Thinking about it. 4 lantern here. We can do this. If I prepare properly. Cost another 2 years to do so, but... Let me think about it. But yeah, we could get that cult going, which would be interesting. We need, however, another one of the flower maker things to do so. This would cause a lot of card dropping to do, but I think we can do it. The question is whether you actually want me to or not. We've been trying to do this cult for such a while now. Challenge. Okay, Damika's... I know. We'll get another freaking obscurity out of it, but who needs that? Right? Am I right? Okay. You know, I didn't even realize what we had here. We can do it. Hold on. We'll need 1 in order to be able to do that. Grab another one just in case. You know, Sperry. So yeah, we'll get another obscurity out of this. We'll blow 2 more years to try to pull it off. Just see if we can, actually. But we're going to need... think about this. These 2 will provide us 12 Grail and 12 Lantern. That's enough for the first 2 challenges, which basically means that we toss in this plus the page. We will need to keep 1 flower maker. This plus the page equals 8. That will be a total of 6 and 6. That's enough, actually. We can do this. We can do this. All right. It's going to cost us 2 years, but we can do it. Sometimes I think I'm kind of crazy about when I do these things. Okay, we all know I'm crazy. I wouldn't be playing this game if I was sane. You wouldn't be watching if you were 100% sane either. Watching circles go around while you create narratives to go with it. Alright, so yeah, we grab another obscurity. I figure we need to, now I figure out we need to get loud with our religion. Okay, this can be done. Okay, the way it's going to be done is that we'll take the underworld connection. Renew that. Hang on, let's think this one out. Let's really think it out. Okay, so in order to do this, I need to use Lantern 8, Grail 4, that's going to do it, plus the 2 Winters, 8 and 4, so I have to make sure that he's up and running. So what will happen is that first we'll need to be able to recharge Underworld connection. Where's the Holy Man connection? Yep, I'll charge this one up. We'll charge these two out. Get them up and running. Yeah, it's going to be pricey. I know it's going to be pricey, but I just want to see if we can do it. Just because, like I said, you can't normally do this. Pause. You can't normally do this in the game. So, I want to see what the pleasure cult. I want a pleasure cult. Is it too wrong on a pleasure cult? Lots of beasts. There we go. While we're waiting for Dominicus to feel better after, you know, being part of a pleasure cult. Alright, so vitality's back up and running. Thoughts of peace. Dual connection. Alright, we can do this. Yeah, just imagine trying to do this while the foe was still after us. Oh yeah, might as well keep it going. Sigh. Alright, so what's going to happen next is... Yeah, Dominicus will definitely be up and running by that point. Let's do it again. We'll have to recharge him again to do this. But yeah, the thing is, this is how you learn. You fail, and then you try again. We're learning whatever you learned the first time. Now, first way we're going to do this is, first of all, we need to toss in our current flower maker one. All right, go 5 seconds. Got it. Now, run the Faith Healing Cult. The first challenge is going to require... It's going to give us 6 Lantern, 12 freaking Grail, and we'll need to put 2 Lantern in for the next one. Okay, so that'll do it. Now, Delight in his daughters. Second thing we're going to do now is we're going to toss in... we're going to toss in... Where is it? Page. That's going to give us a total of 14 Grail and 10 Lanterns. More than enough than we need in order to generate the second one, which is going to be that. Make sure we got this right. Got 8 Lantern and 12 Winter. So we need to toss in both Dominicus and my Scar. Good thing we upgraded him, isn't it? God, he's like 3 Winter even when he's famished. Wow. Interesting. I could use more friends. Yeah, I know I could, but already getting pricey here. Make blow through an entire decade doing this, but I want to do it. Just want to do it. Anyways. Alright, Dominicus will be 9. I will be 3 and 4. That would be fine. Yeah, I just do 15 comfort. Wow. Okay, so all right, rejoice. All right, illumination. Okay, so we need to generate you. That'll give us 9, and the last time will be bleak revelation, and then we should be fine. Then we should have the new faith card. We would combine that with the other stuff we have. Speaking of which, I have to make sure this stays current. We'll need that for the flower cult. God, we're weird. Anyways, we should probably figure out where we're going next. Lots of vitality. I honestly think that my attempts making a pleasure cult are making some, like, not Dominicus, I'm sure he's fine with this, but Grigori may think I'm going a little too far. I mean, okay, we are celebrating, really. Boy. effectiveness, which will hopefully produce... No, we don't want to go to the end of the world. That's where we go with the priority captains. Basically, it's where you go to go nowhere else at that point. You end the game. There are supposedly one dramatic one-on-one conflict. Challenge. Okay, so we throw in my unhealing wound, which frankly has been really good for that. And now we see where we're actually going, because I am not taking us trip to the coast. Thanks. Or an small island. I can't remember what that was precisely. Alright, so London, where the actual main game happens. Alright, cool. Otavo Berto in London has put out the word that you like my help. He's a scoundrel, but we go back a long way. Alright, I think that'll be like next episode. I know I've gone a little crazy with the pleasure cult, but we will get it, damn it. We will get it. God. I want to go to... Going to Paris specifically to make a cult for the pleasure. At least we know we're in the right place. And let's think about the dawn for a bit, shall we? Okay, so now I must leave you. Excellent. I'm hoping this produces the damn card. If it doesn't, I'm just going to bang my head against a rock. I can't figure out how to spawn it either. I got good value. Good, good, good. Another thought of peace. Could have used tranquility instead of my wound. Alright, so. Special outcome. New faith. There it is. The congregation hungry for more. If you achieve one effectiveness running a faith cult, you might be able to establish an effective cult. Excellent. Meeting place. The secluded villa. Year. Relax. Okay, no, we're not going to relax. And... boom. There we go. Now, assemble an esoteric cult of the Flower Maker. The Flower Maker's presence is strong here. Let the enthusiasts in the congregation pursue their pleasures. A reasonable, safe way to convert stolen cash. Moth asks a card. But, in truth, what we're going to need for the pleasure cult is... well, Grail. And we have 12 Grail. I just put in the wine. We just get blasted drunk. Okay? Cultist private pleasure, drawing curtains closed, and then seduction. Seduction and the betrayal. Most of you will probably understand that one. Okay, cool. We just... everybody gets drunk. 18 freaking... Dionysian celebrations begin. I know this really isn't worth the effort I put into it, but I just had to do it at least once. Alright, everybody, just get naked, get drunk, and nobody remember what happened in the morning, okay? Okay, daughter. Yeah. Wherever the Grail is, it's smiling upon us, which is probably a good thing. You don't want to do it. In any case, also, you know, I paid for it. We might as well get our money's worth out of this one, because we're not going to need it. Year under legal fights. And we'll throw in my skill, which will be more than enough. Okay, pause a moment. We'll throw in... no, you know what? What are you at? 1 experience? You're at... yeah, we'll just alternate you guys. Have fun! Old man. Alright, go for it. Alright, more rights in my esoteric cult of the Flower Maker. Love is the law, and there is more. There is always more wine. Ooh, this is actually interesting. There was actually a story I read where the demon of gluttony was just saying there's always more, which is why they were encouraging the sin to continue. It was interesting way of doing it. Basically, whether it would be sex or food or wine or just conversation, the way they sucked you into their hell was to just keep you eating more, and you feed off of your excess, which is interesting. And the fact that it wasn't truly malevolent, it wanted to take over the world, it just wanted to feed. Love is the law, but there is more. Okay, we're also going to have like so much freaking obscurity, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's going to be like, nobody's going to know who the hell I am. But, you know, I'm okay with that. Deep breath, everyone. We're going to go on a little adventure in London after this. I just needed to get this stuff out of my system. You know, the thing is, we've got 2 humans and 2 demigods, because Orelsanna has a superhuman endurance as well, so I can tell you which ones dipped out first. Oh wait, that's right, I sent him off to go fight. So yeah, I think he's the only one that really would have had preparations. Remember me fondly. Okay, that was almost worth it. Just that, to know how it goes. Alright, so, obscurity and cash. It's not a regular cash, we're gonna get more from the fights, obviously. And, you know, wow, let's get this place sold. God, you know, I could come back and do this, but I don't want to. Once was enough, and now we're done. Got to call this episode the Afterparty. Cash. I don't think we need to get any more. We can probably save on the years after this. So yeah. Oh, patch him up. The thing about that is that he probably wasn't that good of a fighter. Subtlety wasn't my priority here. He wasn't that good of a fighter, but the year he had basically digested prevented him from taking injuries he would regenerate. Okay, guys. We had fun. We got some fighting done. Got way too much drinking and pleasure. And who knows what got up to in the basement and in the side bedrooms. I'm not going to ask. I had my part. So yeah, to London, shall we? Yeah, I think we can afford the fare. Alright, everyone. Pack those cases of cash there. God damn it. I like the fact you can't actually run out of the wine, which basically makes me think it's like a gift from the flower maker or the Grail itself, and that is eternally digestion. And frankly, in this world, the demons and gluttony would be the Grailites. That's why I think the Grail, the immortals that you get at the end of a long ascension for Grail ending in this game would be essentially vampires that don't just consume blood, though. They consume pleasure. They drive their victims to excess. We probably had like a half dozen at least. It's London. That means Paris, probably 2 dozen there who were just chilling out and sucking on the photo ghost. But I guarantee you nobody at that orgy was complaining. And the thing is, if you've ever played Vampire the Masquerade, you know, there are people who call blood dolls who are just really into it. Now, if you actually took out the blood drinking part and like, say, a succubi sex doll, I guess, which, although that's actually a thing. So, let's see, Celebrant. A friend of mine called them celebrants. Yeah, Celebrant. That sort of thing. And, you know, you didn't just get pleasure off of they actually paid for it, which is what a lot of blood dolls get in the Camarilla. Yeah, where exactly do you draw the line between what is ethical and what isn't? Everybody is a consenting adult and there is transaction going on. Is it any different in esoteric fashion than sex work? I know I think of weird things. This is a weird game. Literally, one of the greater gods is the living embodiment of consumption and birth. How exactly do you not make that unsubtle? Man. Packing is taking literally days. Farewell, Perry. We shall remember you well, and hopefully we will be remembered well or not, depending on the circumstance. Probably should stay out of town for a decade or 2. You know, people can get attached in the orgy. Don't understand, it's just a one-night thing. Anyways, to London. I feel a need to be proper for a while. I mean, the Londonites are probably number 2 after Paris in the Western Europe for the number of, how do I put this? The number of esoteric and extraordinary ways to practice pleasure. It's just that they're very subtle about it. The Dom population is huge in the city of London as they cater primarily to the financial sector. But not that you ever hear about it unless you know who to listen to and what to do. I mean, it's more open these days. I mean, they have literal galas and such, but they're not advertised unless you know where to look. So, yes, I know where to look. I've explained before, the esoteric and the exotic communities are in a pretty good diagram, probably just under half, maybe a third. Anyways, to London. All right. Farewell. I'll remember what I can. All right. Altavio, hang on. He's waiting for me outside the Victoria station, shaking his head in sorrowful, the demonstrators marching past. A man must be paid, of course, he laments, but all this, there's no need for it. The resources are closed. Did you know that? The police, like a hive of bees. Perhaps I should go and strike too. This is basically the beginning of the communist movement. It's been... Lenin is at his height right now. Not Stalin. It's the difference. Stalin is the brute who took over after the intellectuals did, like Marx and Lenin, who had like ideas about how society should run, but were perfectly willing to kill a lot of people and steal their land to do so. Let's not pretend that communism does not have dirty roots, bloody roots. All governments have bloody roots. But anyways, the thing was about it is that this is the point where it surged upwards, primarily because it was just like it is now. In fact, it's almost 100 years, and I've said that most cycles in history go 90 to 100 years. It's said during this time that wages were bad, living conditions were horrible, the workers had no protection, the law, and they struck, and then of course the police went nuts on it, and the fascism in Germany specifically, but all across Europe, took over as a reaction against communism. And then those bright men in the uniforms, that man talking about our national pride. Of course, they are the right choice compared to these people who want to talk about the destruction of public property. My property! It's still going on. History's a flat circle. Alright. Let's go. We have arrived. Fetch real criminals. So it is nice that the individual, Octavio, is kind of big on the fact that, there should be more better rights. He's probably a liberal persuasion himself. Liberal this time point is a lot different than liberals and today are leftists. Oh God, like I said, it hasn't really changed the players' terms, but it's really the same forces. But this is Octavia, so we can use him in a year for a quick buck if we needed to. But we have 26 cash. I don't really see us needing to use it, so we'll pop over to London and just say hi. There's a certain club, the Insidious Club, you can actually get here. Mass strikes and martial law paralyzed the Big Smoke this month. Tanks rumble along Pall Mall. Oh yeah. Agitators conspire in city's lethal fog. Perhaps the nameless name will shield me with her mists. So yeah, we can actually start an uprising. We can change history and have a communist uprising in London. You for it? You for a little monkeying with the timeline? Yeah. You up for it? Because I have demonstrated just how crazy I can get when I'm bored. From pleasure cult to revolution. Really, it's not that different. It's why Paris has so many freaking revolutions. Not just the one you know about from history books, but if you check out any riot, when there's anything that even touches the social welfare of the common people, the place will erupt into flames. They have made rioting an art. So yeah, the pleasure cult and the collectivism tend to be together, because when you have a lot of friends in that way, I'm guessing you all look out after each other. Now, I'll let you think about that, the connection between communalism and consummation, even as it, added a literal appeal there. But just think about that for a bit, and we'll catch you next time. We'll begin the liberation of the proletariat from the masses in London. I'm sure it's going to go great. Anyways, I'll catch you next time. Bye.
I'd like to thank my Acolyte level supporters, whose contributions help this channel grow and hastens the inevitable digital apocalypse and rise of the Dark Lords of Content and Data.